before, and we've talked about checking in on a couple of videos, and I went back and listened to them just in preparation for this show, specifically when PnB Rock came to town. Now, this story is very important, Lonzo, because, well, first of all, we talked about PnB Rock a few years back, and for anyone who doesn't remember, because there have been so many rap unalivings as of late in the past 5 years, but PnB Rock was the one who was out of Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in the hood, and about as bad a hood as it gets. Let's keep it real. And he had on all of his jewelry, and he was with his girl, and some dudes came in and they tried to take his jewelry from him. He didn't go down without a fight. Long story short, PnB Rock is right there in the Roscoe's in front of all the customers and everything. Now, that's important because Loose Cannon, who was one of the people that was arrested, he did a video a couple of months back placing himself at that scene. He literally it was just one line in a random conversation he had. He said, I was there. Me and such was there, man. So that's one of the reasons that people are saying that he got arrested. But what is it, Lonzo? I mean, back in your day, back in even my day, back in the 90s, we were never gangsters or anything like that on that level, but there was a code of silence. When did that change? What made that change? Because now it's almost like, damn, I popped that dude. Now you're online bragging about it.
The internet changed everything, man. It changes how we communicate, how we study, how we entertain ourselves, how we get entertained, but mainly because you can go viral and possibly make some money. And I listen to a lot of these cats, and here I'm gonna say this before I go any further. We talk about a lot of old stuff, okay? Because folks like hearing old. I love hearing a good old story, especially when it's true. But I see so many cats trying to develop a relationship or develop a reputation for being some super badass, and they tell stories about things they did, and a lot of these things are criminal. And for whatever reason, either they think ain't nobody listening, ain't nobody tripping, and it may not be the one story that gets it pulls the alarm. But enough stories help people build a case, help you build a case against yourself. You help the feds build a case against yourself because you said, talk about this, talk about that, and some you may know more than you telling. And here's the cold part, and y'all know how these folks work. They scoop your ass up. Oh, you got this charge. You're looking at about 150 years. But if you start talking and start pointing some fingers, we might get you down to probation, okay? Or whatever the case may be. And folks do it. But in the meantime, in order to show how bad you were at a certain point in time in your career, and in most cases, even me, I never tried to be a badass, but a lot of the stories I tell, unfortunately, a lot of the people who were involved are no longer here. So if I chose to embellish, or I could put if I know somebody who did something, I could put myself in that position, tell that story because I know what happened, I heard all about it, but the person who did it no longer here. I can put myself in that story, in that situation, and make myself be bigger than what I am. And like I said, even with my stories, a lot of my stories, the people who are around at that time are no longer here, and there's nobody to refute what I'm saying. So I have my own code of ethics that I ain't got a lot to kick it. Everybody don't live like that, because I've done enough where I don't have to lie to kick it. In fact, Dusty, I was going through my video library the other day. For the past 2.5 months, I've been digitizing a lot of my old videos. Dude, I done found some gold that I'm gonna share with you for the show and for my YouTube channel, folks. I found a lot of gold. And again, I'm not a gangster, so I ain't confessing no murders, but you can see the evolution of Lonzo, West Coast hip hop, a lot of things that I did because I got receipts. I'm thinking about calling that just a receipt. Something to that effect. I got receipts. So yeah.
Let's break this down a little bit more, Lonzo. In our last show, not on our last show, in our show from a few years ago, when we were talking about the unaliving of PnB Rock, you mentioned specifically this line, and I would love for you to break it down even more 3 years later, when, you know, the guys, when there's people involved now who are probably behind bars. But this was your quote, Lonzo. You said, with all the enemies we have, the only ones you can find is the one next door or the one around the corner. That's some special shit.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Break that down, man.
With all the folks in various places around the world who've done things to us, the community, the retaliate, I'm not encouraging nobody to do anything to anybody, but you would think that some of the things, the injustices that we felt as a community, somebody would have maybe crashed out to go deal with this for my folks, like they do for the hood. It's for the hood, okay? And just go crash out. It don't happen like that for us, but it happens like us when we're involved. If somebody does something to one of the homies, you prepared to go crash out and spend the rest of your life behind bars, or jeopardize anybody that's in his vicinity with a barrage of bullets, trying to get at that person, and still risking your freedom for the rest of your life. But again, when somebody has done something to us as a people, there is nobody that's out there, you know what, I'm finna go crash out for my folks, because this ain't, we can't let this slide. And that's basically what I'm saying. Charleston White says the same thing. I just ain't gonna say it like he does. I don't know who he got on his team, but I ain't gonna say that shit. I ain't got time to get arrested, I ain't got time to get questioned.
Yeah, I feel you on that. You know, Charleston White's getting questioned because he's saying that he is one of the reasons Brick Baby, specifically the guy from No Jumper, he's saying that he is one of the reasons that he is arrested by the feds right now, because Brick Baby made a threat to him months ago, and Charleston White headed his ass down to the sheriff's department, put a formal complaint in, and said a member of the ROLLIN 60s Crips just sent me a threat, and I fear for my life.
Yeah, and those 2 points, the gang and the fear, is enough to get somebody arrested these days. I mean, they don't play with it. That is a terrorist threat, and that is a major situation. And he makes it plain and clear. I will tell. I have no reservations whatsoever. And we were talking about that the other day. Me and a buddy of mine were just discussing how brothers have gotten so twisted when it comes to the snitching scenario. A brother, bald-headed, wearing a burgundy shirt, do something. I know he did it. He know he did it. I get arrested for it, but I can't tell nobody he did it. But he ain't gonna man up and tell nobody